Hi, and welcome to my relaunching campaign for Brewdog.
Brewdog are an independent craft beer provider based out of Scotland, UK. They were founded in 2007 by two friends, bored of industrial brewed lagers and stuff ales that dominated the market. They are passionate about beer and strive for consumers to share that value. In 2020, they were valued at £1.8 billion with 690 global employees, and their revenue reached 139.65 million in 2018, which has grown over 50% every year since the company was founded. They provide an extensive range of beers and are now also branched out into distilling spirits too, with most products being sold online, in stores and in pubs, with actually 80 Brewdog owned bars being based around the UK as well. Brewdog keep it brief when referring to their corporate objectives on their website, with just a few things mentioned. One of the things they mentioned were they aim to revolutionise the beer industry, completely redefining UK beer drinking culture, which ties in very well with the proposed campaign. And their mission is to make people as passionate about craft beer as they are. Aim to revolutionise and change the market. The image that we see over on the right here of the slide is the charter that we took from the Brewdog's website. They're just showing some of the things that they are passionate about. They claim to bleed craft beer, be uncompromising, being ambitious, being geeks about what they do, and they claim that the people are what makes them the company they are today.
On Thursday the 8th of March 2018, Brewdog released a pink IPA, sold 20% cheaper to women in attempts to combat gender inequality. It was their usual punk IPA with a pink branding. However, following release, they became subject to a huge online backlash, criticised for their exclusive nature of the product. In fact, in March 2018, someone actually attempted to purchase it and was refused sale, meaning they successfully sued Brewdog for £1,000. Although Brewdog made no official statement, the product was later removed from sale, as the campaign posed a huge threat to Brewdog's objective of making everyone passionate about craft beer.
The campaign itself did have good intentions. They aimed to address a modern day issue with a practical solution. However, ultimately, the product was highly exclusive as it charged men more than women. Many consumers complained on Twitter about it, highlighting that the use of the pink label and the Beer for Girls branding was actually inequality itself. The quote here we see from Sarah Barton from Brewster's Brewing Company said that Brewdog are trying to be clever, sarcastic and ironic, but I think it may be viewed as a patronising beer from one of the big boys. A quote from Brewdog actually claimed that beer is universal, beer is for everyone. However, this pink beer campaign did not support this ideology, as it made people feel like beer was for specific consumer groups.
The intended message of the campaign came from Brewdog's overall goal of revolutionising the beer industry and redefining beer drinking culture. With this in mind, we recommend a month-long campaign throughout July, as this is London Pride Month, promoting a rainbow-labelled punk IPA, which stands up for equality and promotes inclusivity. To do this, the SOSTAC model developed by PR Smith will be used, as it enables us to plan the new campaign considering the situation, corporate objectives, strategies, actions and controls. In order to do this, some other theoretical methods have been applied, such as the 4 discipline execution methods and the 4 E's concept, which ensures tactics are correctly integrated. For the situation section of the SOSTAC, a SWOT analysis has been used. This is available on the next slide. Using this analysis, some positive consumer trends that were identified were 51% of UK craft beer drinkers said they prefer beer brewed in the UK, which Brewdog is. 47% said they preferred environmentally friendly packaging, which again Brewdog are trying to implement. And 45% of customers are happy to pay more for a genuine craft product. Some relevant threats that were identified were the decline in beer drinking for 25 to 34-year-olds, and many other companies are actually benefiting from greater economies of scale than Brewdog. Here we see the full SWOT analysis for the situation at Brewdog. As we've already looked at the opportunities and threats, we can also here see their strengths and weaknesses. Brewdog have many strengths in terms of product differentiation, as their product is high quality and very unique. They use bold and bright lettering, which differentiates them further. And they've actually started diverting into alcohol-free bars and products as well now. Some of the weaknesses that we did identify were the exclusiveness of the IPA product and also the fact that the website meta descriptions were actually too long, which reduced SEO performance and could make them fall much lower on search engine performance. Here are the 3 SMART objectives that have been identified for the proposed campaign. To identify these objectives, the RACE framework has been used as it helps marketers improve the commercial value gained from digital marketing. The 3 objectives are to increase overall market share by 5% by the end of the proposed campaign, increase social media following by 10%, 30,000 followers across all 3 platforms, and increase the level of returning customers by 10%. These use the convert, reach, act, and engage elements of the RACE framework, and the KPIs that have been identified for each are market share figures, social presence, and number of returning customers. In regards to strategy, the Ansoff matrix has been applied, as we can see in the image. This allows companies to increase sales through showing alternative combinations for new markets. Using this matrix, a market development strategy can be determined, as we are promoting the product to a new market but is an existing product. A social media strategy and niche strategy have also been selected. The social media strategy was selected as customers are beginning to spend much more time online, reading and interacting with content, as well as it also enabling customers engagement at a much lower cost and greater efficiency than traditional methods, increasing the conversion to final sales and growing the social media following. The niche strategy refers to a very narrowly defined consumer group, and this means that products can be targeted towards niche customers with a distinct set of needs who may have been overlooked by industry competitors. This is also very applicable to the case of this promotion, as there's a very niche consumer base. Positioning defines how a company wants to compete and is determined by market segmentation, actual target market, and the differentiation of the product offered. As we already know this information, we can provide the positioning diagram that you see below. Brewdog is priced similarly to some of the higher quality competitors, but actually falls slightly higher in quality compared to the competitors, as they do actually pride themselves on the high quality. The customers that this product's being targeted at are also much happy to pay a higher price, and therefore the positioning can be justified. The below image shows a customer persona for the ideal customer for this promotion. They use a variety of online platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and often use their smartphone. They're an active member of the LGBTQ community and enjoy good tasting craft beverages, having fun with friends, and are very environmentally conscious. For promotional tactics, it is recommended that paid social media advertising is used, such as paid embedded social media content on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, which is paid for on a paid per 1,000 clicks basis. We can use content that is developed that promotes the new campaign, promoting further website clicks, and the proposed loyalty scheme that we'll dive into later. This should be used because it can increase the brand awareness, influence buying decisions. It gives a guaranteed placing in users' feeds when they do not engage with that business. And it can also target people based on their self-identity and interests, such as Facebook or Instagram pages that they follow, which is very important when we're trying to target a niche group such as the LGBTQ community. For the second tactic, automatic email marketing has been recommended in conjunction with a loyalty scheme on the bottle of the product. The below image shows a timeline for how this is done. Starting with on-bottle promotion prompting a website visit. Following this, the consumer signs up for the mailing list and they receive an email offering to download the app to receive the promotion. Once the app has been downloaded, they have to register, on which data can be gathered for further marketing practice. They then receive an email offering to update their customer information to receive the profile, which further allows us to gather information for marketing. Following this, they can scan the barcode on a bottle and receive a free drink after 6 purchases. This is one of the most effective marketing channels in terms of return on investment. It allows carefully targeted, highly relevant emails that enable for a low-cost solution to identify potential customers. The gathered data, as previously mentioned, for these communications can be used to identify potential customers from their recency, frequency, and monetary. And the loyalty scheme can encourage an increased level of sales. A Gantt chart has been used to outline the timings for the proposed campaign.
As we can see on this slide, the initiation phase is due to start on the 1st of April, lasting for 5 weeks. These tasks involve budgeting from week 1 to 2, budget approval in week 2, request for a proposal weeks 2 to 3, pitching, which is going to go from week 3 to week 5, and the kicking off of the project, which begins on week 5. Following the initiation phase, the tactics are then to be implemented, starting in week 6 with the campaign due to start on week 13. For the automatic email marketing, the tasks required are system development and testing, such as the email development, app development, and also web page development are also required. Training of new staff for 3 whole weeks, and weekly evaluations of the KPIs. These are to be done once a week, as the campaign is only a month long, throughout the entire month of July. Plans for the paid social media marketing are also due to start in week 6, with initially beginning with 3 weeks of content development. They also need to do testing and correction, customer selection, as in deciding the correct customers to target the paid marketing towards, and then followed by 3 weeks of user training. Once again, the campaign is due to start on week 13, lasting for 4 weeks, which will consist of 4 weekly KPI evaluations to ensure that we are on track and plans are in place.
The bottom-up approach has been used to identify the total project cost. This is when you identify the cost of each individual task that you're completing and then total these up to an overall budget. So, for example, we can see that the costs such as social media advertising was worked out at £7 per 1,000 times 2,000 to ensure that we gained a 30,000 follower increase per platform. Training costs were worked out at the cost of 2 agency staff at £10,000 per 4 months. Content development was worked at £2,500 per item for 4 items. And then the app development, web development, email development was all worked out from industry quotes. To ensure the success of the campaign, KPIs have been developed for each individual tactic. So for the email marketing, we can see the KPIs are the level of users, level of app downloads, and also the number of barcode scans for the loyalty scheme in the app. Whereas the KPIs for the paid social media advertising are conversion rates and social media following and the number of advertisement clicks. The far right column shows the data source to look at all these KPIs, and these can be evaluated weekly throughout the campaign in the form of a dashboard. Here we see an example of the KPI dashboard that's been recommended. Using this dashboard allows to maintain focus on disciplined execution. So as we can see, we have all the KPIs and tactics identified on the previous slide, and the target figures appear in the third column. Here we can put them against the actual figures with the above or below percentage being viewed on the right. This will allow Brewdog to constantly monitor the KPIs and ensure success. So to conclude, as we know, the initial campaign failed due to an insensitive approach to a very sensitive issue. The product was gender exclusive and failed to support Brewdog's view of beer being universal and beer is for everyone. However, an inclusive product and clearly defined objectives will enable for an easy campaign relaunch, as there is still a really solid customer base that Brewdog can build on. As shown in the dashboard, as long as we develop appropriate KPIs and these are continually monitored to ensure the objectives are being reached, the desired results should be provided and the campaign should be successful. The following 2 slides provide my reference list.